This may be a familiar moment for the Chiefs, but it never gets old. Kansas City is headed back to the Super Bowl for the fourth time in 5 years. And with a shot to defend their title just a few days away, the Chiefs will leave it all on the line in a matchup against the San Francisco 49ers. Patrick Mahomes will start his fourth career Super Bowl on Sunday, marking the third most Super Bowl starts by a quarterback in NFL history, trailing only Tom Brady and John Elway. Additionally, at 28 years old, Mahomes will be the youngest quarterback in league history to start his fourth Super Bowl. For context, Brady didn't start his fourth Super Bowl until he was 30. Mahomes will lead an offense into Super Bowl 58, which has largely funneled through the trio of Travis Kelce, Isaiah Pacheco, and Rashee Rice during the Chiefs' playoff run. Those three players combined for 771 scrimmage yards during Kansas City's 3 playoff wins. That's 70% of the Chiefs' total in that span. Mahomes, Kelce, Pacheco, Rice, and the rest of the Chiefs' offense will aim to maintain that production against a stout 49ers defense that allowed the third fewest offensive points of any team in the NFL this season. These guys feature a bunch of playmakers, notably defensive end Nick Bosa, whose 95 pressures this season ranked third in the NFL. What's interesting about the Niners defense is that despite their impressive scoring numbers, 7 teams allowed fewer yards per game this season than San Francisco. Where they made up for it, though, was through takeaways, as San Francisco forced the 5th most turnovers of any team this year with 28, including a league most 22 interceptions. Those numbers piled up, too, as the 49ers forced a takeaway on 16% of opponent possessions this year. For what it's worth, though, on drives where they didn't force a turnover, opponents scored points 40% of the time. On the other side of the ball, San Francisco posted the league's number 3 scoring offense behind a tremendous season from quarterback Brock Purdy, who threw 31 touchdown passes while leading the NFL in passer rating and yards per attempt. He has a ton of playmakers at his disposal too, including wide receiver Deebo Samuel, tight end George Kittle, and wide receiver Brandon Ayuk. Each of those guys had at least 6 receiving touchdowns during the regular season, and tailback Christian McCaffrey, whose more than 2,000 yards from scrimmage led the NFL. They'll be quite a challenge, but the Chiefs' defense has proven time and time again that they'll be up for it. Kansas City has held opponents under 25 total points in 19 of 20 games this season. And looking at the second half specifically, the Chiefs, who allowed the fewest second half points of any defense in the NFL this year, have held opponents under 10 second half points in 8 straight weeks. It's a matchup for the ages, and with everything on the line, yet again, the Chiefs will take the field in Vegas with an opportunity to hoist the Lombardi Trophy for the 3rd time in 5 seasons.